Ends up being one grub for one grub, still one up for the taking.
Nice stun coming in from Targamas. LeBron dead here. Clean play from KC bottom lane.
I'm behind them,
Keep. Just keep. Going.
I need 1 kill, okay, so now?
Yeah.
Go forward.
Keep.
Look here.
Look, Ash, no flash, okay?
Woo!
Get away, what?
Bombo!
That's it.
I'm just coming.
Get away!
Welcome back to the LEC, where Karmine Core has just secured their second win. Congratulations, Upset, joining me now for the interview. Thank you so much for that. Everybody is hyped. I mean, I'm hyped, you're hyped, Bo is hyped. So talk us through the feelings right now, ending the regular split, but you get 2 wins with the final one against BDS. Who was supposed to be the best team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are happy that we broke the losing streak, of course, but I think everyone in the team is not really happy with the split, of course, because even though we won the last 2 games, which is nice, we failed very much the split, and we all have much higher expectations of ourselves, and I'm sure the fans also feel the same way, and we really want to make the fans happy, and we didn't do that this split, so hopefully we can carry the momentum that we got from these 2 wins into the next split and really work on our fundamentals and how to become a good team.
It's actually really interesting here that you mentioned the fans and potentially their expectations, because when we're looking at socials, they have been so supportive, and there has been such a big transparency from you guys, the players, from Yamato as the coach, from KC as the organization. So looking at next split, looking at keeping this momentum going forward, what exactly do you think it would take from you guys to be able to do that?
I mean, all of our players have the ability to play well individually, but our macro is really bad, and we just don't really know what the other person wants to do a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important we have like very good fundamentals, and we all get more on the same page. And also, obviously, there's a difference how we play when there's more pressure or less pressure.
Yeah.
So that obviously has to be addressed as well in a way that we feel confident, even if the game is like very important for us. And I think that's the main things we need to focus on for next split.
Yeah, looking as well at how this went, I mean, you said it yourself, that when it comes to mechanics, when it comes to individual players, you guys are very highly skilled. There were a lot of expectations in terms of how you will perform. So besides the pressure, is there anything different in these last 2 games that allowed you guys to excel? Because that's the Karmine Core that we wanted to see from day one.
I mean, we definitely had some harder to play drafts, let's say, or some bad drafts too. I think the last 2 drafts were pretty good, very straightforward to execute because we had so many tools, so much TC, a lot of playmaking, and it definitely made it better for us. And overall, we were much more decisive because I think there was less pressure on us. So these kind of things we just need to try to get into the next split as well. Yeah.
So between now and the next split, then, what would you think your day-to-day look like? What is going to be your focus as a player yourself?
I mean, I don't think we have the privilege of taking a lot of time off. I think maybe a few days to rest, and then we're going to keep playing the whole time, I think, till the next split starts. It's like going to be 1.5 months or something until the next split starts, and we're just going to try to work as much as possible in that time to get on the same page, to learn how to play macro better, and also work on our individual skills. All
right, well, I'm a believer. I hope you're a believer as well.
Yeah,
we're going to be tossing back to the desk. Yamato is on there. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, just thank you for coming to the matches every week. It's really amazing how much support we've gotten from you guys, even though we have been losing a lot, and hopefully we're going to make you guys proud next split.
Thank you so much for the interview, Laure. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ginny. I think you should stay. The KC fans are going to love you after these 2 wins in the book for KC. And Coach, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
How do we feel after? I must be a bit bittersweet, of course, grabbing the wins after everything is decided. But it's a glimpse of hope as well for the next split. How do you see this?
I think the last 2 games, I think always what the team is like every day is supposed to be the best possible building block for what you are. And I think the last 2 days were definitely steps in the right direction. And I think out of the position we were in, that's all I can ask for.
Treatz, you've been in basically every position when it comes to competitive. How do you explain this effect of winning and getting things together when there's no pressure at all? Because it happens all the time.
It does happen. I feel like the win rate's pretty high after you're knocked out. It happened to me last split as well in NA, and I think in general, when the pressure's off, obviously you play better. I think it's also, as you said, it's very bittersweet because you don't... It's almost like the wins feel worse when you're already out in a way. It kind of feels like, why can't we just do this earlier? It's clear that there's the potential there, and individually the players played insanely well this game. Like Targamas had really great ults. Cabochard came back from the early lane and had a lot of impact in the game. So it's kind of like, why didn't this happen earlier? And that's kind of the feeling that you come out of as a player from this type of situation.
On my end too, right? I think in regards to some of the games, we definitely suffered for some stage jitters. I think the last 2 games resembled more of where we are at in terms of our scrim level. I think definitely we are far from clean. There's definitely macro things and ideas in the game that we need to hammer down, and these are basically the test of our foundation. But I'm happy that the boys were a lot more loose and they created a performance that we can measure our true level at. Still many things to work on, and our foundation is not solid enough, and I think in the end that's why we are 2-7.
It's been kind of frustrating to watch KC. Obviously, you know it as well as the coach. It's been frustrating because we know that the players have the capabilities to perform, right? It's just like, why is it not working? And there's so many different factors in every game, right? There's the early game, there's mid game, there's objectives, and it just looked like almost everything was going wrong, even though we now in these last 2 games saw that it's possible. So what do you think it's like taking these 2 wins, kind of bring it into the last split, or into the next split rather? What do you think you have to keep doing? Just do the same and just hope for best, or is there something specific that you think you need to do?
I think that we managed to figure out a lot in terms of what we want our identity to be. I think this is something that we wrestled with. I think in terms of how we play mid-game, it's like most of the games that we lost were pretty much, it's like we are ahead 1k gold, and then there's a Drake fight, and we are completely like either we are breaking our hands or we are just setting it up completely wrong. And in the end, when the games are more even and the more slow, this is where you get tested. So in essence, you just need to make sure that the basics are there in terms of our Drake setups and how we build vision in the game and transition that into consistent leads, how you progress. It's like playing for jungle camps, pressuring into tier 2, making sure that your waves crash, and also finding the right timings to tune in together. This is our main struggle. We need to solve this through communication, through individual play. So even though we win 2 games, it's just we still have so much to work on.
I appreciate a lot the transparency, honestly, to see the progress that the team has made, and obviously looking forward to seeing what Karmine Corp will be about in spring. Praise where it's due, though. Cabochard, another top laner, gets the Kia Player of the Game today. And it's a reunion for you guys as well, back from the Vitality days.
No, it's very fun to work with Cabo. He's still the same person, but more mature. I know where I have him, and I like what he's bringing to the team. A very mature presence, a leadership presence that serves as a kind of central point of calmness in situations, which is super good. I'm glad he took the play of the game.
Yamato, I'm going to use you for the next pre-match because we miss you as analyst as well, and it's nice to have you bring insights.
I'm comfortable.
We have Fnatic versus Team Heretics coming up next, and we wanted to discuss how Fnatic's bot lane have been struggling a lot. You obviously faced off against them in scrims and in other settings. Well, how do you reflect on Fnatic, what they've been trying to build, and what hasn't been working well for them?
I feel like Fnatic is very similar to the team that they were last year. I think Noah performs well on a set couple of picks, and then when you figure out his pattern, I think that you can attack him in draft. I think this was the trend also last year when he's played specifically like Aphelios and did really well, and then was Desire. And I think that when you recognize that pattern, you target him in Champion Select, I think he seems a little bit less comfortable, I would say.
Quick prediction on this game, Heretics versus Fnatic. G3 versus Fnatic is another match of the week, I guess.
I would have to say I think Fnatic is a stronger team, so I think that's the one for me, yeah.
Yamato, thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you guys in spring. And casters, back to you for game 3.
Thank you very much, Laure, and thank you to Yamato for the insight, and congratulations to finish off the split. More importantly, to see what KC can do coming up towards spring. I'm Hysterics, I'm joined by Dagda. Jankos has been casting for like 10 games straight since Saturday, so a big shout out to him for covering for me for yesterday, but I am better, and better in time to get G3 versus Fnatic. We had G2 yesterday, and now we just get another banger, all on our final week of winter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. Heretics versus Fnatic, set to be an absolute barn burner. And for Fnatic, the opportunity to try and push themselves up into that 4th place slot if Vitality win later on and Fnatic win this game. for Heretics is trying to make sure that they don't slip all the way down, because if they lose here, I think they slip right the way down to 7th place. So definitely a big win needed here to try and keep yourself out of the clutches of some of those teams at the top of the table. But we'll have to see how this one's going to pan out.
I think more importantly as well, you know, there's a couple of cool stories that we can run through here as well, because we've got such skilled players in their individual roles. Where do you want to start, Dagda? We can start top, we can start mid, we can start AD carry. Like, there are so many fun matchups where we're looking at Humanoid versus Perkz. We're looking at Oscarinin versus his fill-in in Wunder, who in playoffs did such a good job because Oscarinin was injured. Now, obviously, that didn't follow through all the way to Worlds, but, like, you know, there's a bit of, I guess, friendship rivalry. What do you want to call it?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because to start things off, Oscarinin came in to replace Wunder on Fnatic. So the fact that you kind of are going up against him, then you had Oscarinin trying to teach Wunder some of the matchups to keep him in check while they went to that season final. So there's definitely a kind of replacement turned teacher turned rival now. So I think Wunder definitely going to have a lot to prove. But also, as you say, Perkz versus Humanoid, I think Humanoid has been the best performing member alongside Razork on this Fnatic roster. So I'm excited to see him now go up against Perkz, where I think Perkz has had some good performances, but at times has also cost Heretics the game, where like he's gone in on Tristana too aggressive, and I think that's kind of been the story of Heretics at times, is different people getting caught out at the worst possible moments. So I'm curious to see if Heretics can kind of keep that clean and maybe upset Fnatic's apple card coming into this.
I mean, the funny thing is I don't think Fnatic have been clean either, right? Like, there's been some individual performances sometimes lacking. We can break that down as we go into game, but folks, as we run into this patch, I keep saying patch because I expect it to be live. It ain't live, we don't need to. 14.1b, which means we're still double support bot. We're still looking at the bans like the Seraphine, but Dagda, further to my point, such an important game here. Fnatic not leaving that bot lane up the chance.
Well, yeah, I wonder if they do ban the Varus, though, just try to keep bot lane under check. Noah has been bringing out the Varus. It's been something he's comfortable on, and as you heard Yamato say in the desk, kind of agree with him. Noah has had a few champions he looks comfortable on, so I'm wondering if they get rid of the Varus just to try and put some pressure on towards Noah in the bot side, and then you can always go for something like the Aphelios or even a Kalista on the next round. But it's actually going to be the Lucian, so I imagine Varus first pick here, and then it'd be a question of what Flakked feels comfortable going into. But no, going to be the Kalista instead, actually.
You did mention it. Okay, well, Noah's most played now by a bit. 4th game on it in this split. But you mentioned that Varus on the other side, Flakked's most played, so both AD carries getting their comfort here in their final game of the split.
Yeah, and the Azir going across the Perkz as well. I think it's a nice take from Humanoid, as you were saying. But also just sets you up very, very well. Long range, good disengage coming through from the Azir if you want to go for the poke on the Varus. So I think a lot of opportunities here on Heretics to try and play for this big team fight with your consistent DPS and Perkz. On the opposite side, though, for Fnatic, I think going for potentially Rumble here for Oscarinin in the top side, not a terrible one. Wunder has looked very good on the Udyr, or at least has looked good on the decently good on the Udyr. So I think there is an option here for Wunder to just respond immediately with that pick.
Well, look, as you said, Rumble going to be locked in for Oscarinin. I love it because Dagda, you know, that pick has had the most presence this split by far, by a country mile. The Rumble has been pretty good. Jankos is saying it's okay. I wonder what that leads us to believe. Are we going to get a jungle pick here? Are they saying, no, never mind, pick Wunder up his Udyr up in the top side?
Well, that's the thing, right? Jankos has a plethora of champions in his back pocket. We've seen him bring out the Lee Sin. He's got the Jarvan that he's brought in, even like a Trundle counter pick. So I think he's got enough opportunities to try and fall back onto something. So imagine Fnatic will try and target ban him a little bit, go for Zinzao, maybe look at something like a the Jarvan as well if you really want to, or Lee Sin, but you'll still have something you can go for here for Jankos.
You know what I'm more excited about?
Oh, you need a Poppy ban actually, now that I think of it. Sorry, go on.
No, your brain is ticking a country mile again. What I'm more excited about, as the Poppy gets taken away, you're just on top of it, Dagda, the fact that Corki's still open. You excited about that? Corki has been there.
Yeah!
We're getting a little bit more of that through mid.
Now, I could be a Corki ban here, to be perfectly honest. And then maybe Humanoid with the Akali gun as well. I am kind of curious what he goes back towards. We've seen him opt in towards the Hui, which isn't the end of the world if you're not up against an aggressive jungler. But yeah, I think with Tristana banned away instead, it'll probably just be the Corki answer for Perkz. The exciting matchup.
Oh, yeah.
The matchup everyone is delighted to have come up for the 15th million time.
Yeah, over League of Legends historical years. Well, let's just wait and see, at the very least, that Tristana was banned through mid. If you're not paying attention, Zin's out on the other side. So a jungle ban here targeted towards Jankos, who's yet to show us his flair in this game. Team Heretics, for me, they've been such a back and forth team, but when they play controlled, strong League of Legends, this is a team to be feared. Is it going to be another game like that with the Jarvan now locked in an engage tool? and leaving that counter pick up for, well, for support.
Yeah, I think it's a good call because chances are you're going to go for something like the Nautilus or something along those lines here for Jun on that bottom side. Even the opportunity, if you really want to go for like I wouldn't recommend it, but a blind Blitzcrank. But you want something that's a bit more aggressive. Yeah, I mean it's going to be right.
One of them.
Yeah, but I think it's just having Kaiser the opportunity to go for it. So if you go for something like a Rakan here, I think you can go for a Nautilus counter for Kaiser, but it could just be a Nautilus immediate lock in here for Jun.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dagda. You don't seem too excited about the Corki. You just kind of glazed over that point. Oh, this will be more exciting, wouldn't it? To take a serious note, Jun has been great on engaged supports like the Blitzcrank. Him and LeBron right now.
Okay.
Rating S tier for me. And Jun on this Blitzcrank spices it up a little bit more than that short guy in a flying helicopter in mid lane.
Yeah, I think it'd be an Alistair pick then, because I think that's... So when you want something that actually is threatening if you try to pull them in, so you don't really want to go for any of the enchanters, and oftentimes you kind of see it go... You could go for Nautilus as well, but you want to have that extra tanky support to try and answer for it. So yeah, gonna go back towards the Nautilus. I think Kaiser's look very comfortable on this pick, so it makes sense, more engage. Good opportunity just to point and click CC to go onto Kalista, so I think this is pretty nice for Heretics. They got long range, good team fight, and nice lane matchups in top and in mid lane as well, so I think it'll be more of a Jankos and Razork trying to put pressure onto the spot lane.
I mean, right across the board, I see comfort, right? Especially through mid, through bot. You know, Jun getting an engaged support, or rather a hook support. Kaiser the same, especially when it's such an important game, because remember, you know, winner will be in a tiebreaker for 4. There's no tiebreaker game later, so we have to keep that in mind. The losing team not being able to make top 4, that's rough. I mean, especially for a team like Fnatic, you have such a high reputation. Team Heretics, yes, coming through with the G3 remade roster that we all knew and loved from previous years, the one that took us all the way to World Finals.
Yeah, I do think, though, for Fnatic fans, they're kind of happy to see them coming back to firing all cylinders, because certainly last year it wasn't the best of times for them. When they started off the year, they ended up finishing pretty low down in the standings. That's why we saw the changes come through with Wunder coming out, Advian coming in. You know, there was a lot of massive changes for this team, but you got to feel significantly more relaxed that after they looked good in summer, they've kind of continued that foot forward now into winter 2024.
Especially coming off the back of Worlds as well. You want to push yourself forward to be a new Fnatic coming through in this year. 2024 Winter is coming to a close today. And with their final game, Fnatic versus Team Heretics, looking to battle it out for seeding. They're secure in the Winter playoffs, but it's just about how high they can rise. And how much information you can gather on the other as well. It's about that breaking boost that you can finish off the split with Dagda. I think that's a really big thing. Momentum is real in League of Legends. As you go into the BO3s, it's nice to end the split on a win and keep that momentum going. I think a couple more days.
Also just trying to look threatening for some of the top teams, right? So you're less likely to be chosen. But here comes the invade. Grouping up. They want to get vision down to spot out where Razork is going to go and how aggressive he's going to be playing. So Jun actually going to ward his own red to see if Heretics stick around. But I'd be surprised if they did fully. I think they're just happy to... I was going to say get vision down, but they didn't even put it down.
By the way, Halo Blade's Corki there.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Just saw that sight from Humanoid. Normally it is first strike.
Yeah.
Halo Blades is going to be a different angle from Humanoid. I thought that was a bug at first, but...
No, I think it's to try and play much more aggressive around Razork. So I think you probably look a lot more for the 2v1 in mid and see if you can punish Perkz. If you can get his flash out early, see if you can then play around Razork hitting that level 6. But and also just for heavy trading in lane, it should make things a little bit easier.
It is a new approach because it's the first time in LEC, from what I'm looking at right now, that it has been picked up this split. It is the first strike, as we talked about, or it is normally the flick footwork for survivability in the lane. Nice explanation there, Dagda. But for Humanoid versus Perkz, I mean, in this lane, I like that we're going to get a bit more explosive power than you'd probably expect from the Corki Azir. Even in this top side, at level 1, Oscarinin getting bullied out by the man that stood in his place. Wunder's been here for ages as well. I mean, you stand in front of the bird, you're going to get burnt.
Yeah, and this is why, like, I think Wunder's had the best understanding of this matchup is you can trade so effectively in the early stages against Oscarinin, even starting for the Electro Harpoon instead of going for the Q as well, so with the Flame Spitter. So Wunder now going to be able to slow push this wave in. Oscarinin can't really approach the wave, so he's already down experience because Wunder's owned him off the experience. You can look to crash third wave. You can proxy fourth wave if you know where Razork is. Probably can't, but Razork pathing up towards top side. But you've reset on third wave, 450 gold, pick up a no magic mantle, and this lane becomes unplayable for Oscarinin. It's super easy to try and play for that, and you can see Wunder very much in control of this lane now.
Speaking of another lane that looks to get control, Humanoid, the trades onto Perkz, aggressive, well done. Trades winning out in his favor as well, just runs on forward. Everybody like that. 3 versus 2, you can see Perkz keeps walking in. Great auto spacing from Humanoid. Really using that Hail of Blades you were talking about.
Yeah, and Kaiser now on the roam to see if he can help out Perkz. So this is going to get bloody in the mid lane. It's just a question of how bloody.
Dagda, you ask, and you shall receive. Humanoid will just have to Valkyrie away. Does so. Out of mana as well. The Fnatic fans out in force today. Humanoid just piles it back. Still has an EXP lead for now with this big wave that's building up towards Perkz. Remember, he's got TP. So all he has to do is back if he so chooses, come back fresh. As Jun is now also roaming as well to match Kaiser, and I mean, they're going to beef up. All it takes is Dredge Line, because Flakked has moved up as well. Level 2 AD carry has just ghosted. Team Heretics want to fight with their AD mid at 3 minutes 30. Now Razork is behind enemy lines onto Perkz. Flashes, who expected he runs back in? The shifting sands, he probably thought he was going to get out with it, but he goes right back in.
This was just too much happening at once for Heretics. Flakked still level 2, tries to come in mid. They don't have the damage. They can't get the closure on towards Jun, so he's able to hop out. You end up in a position where Perkz sticks around and then completely messes up the disengage, and Fnatic just strike back, having spent way less resources on the trade. Like you can see, Kalista, easy reset now to come back into lane, and she's got the recurve bow advantage now.
Because Ghost is now down from Flakked. I mean, I love the... I'd call it like a Jackie Love roam to mid, maybe a bit like Ruler, who's done that previously on JDG, but still 3 summoners burnt in that trade. Remember Wunder before, to get his lane dominant top side, also burn a summoner. Very early usage here from Team Heretics, but as we saw mid, first blood goes over, Fnatic pick up a gold lead. And even though it goes to Jun, who made the roam, it still gives Humanoid ease of access in this lane and the priority that he was searching for before.
I think we're going to see a bit more action down on this bot side, though. You can look at where Razork is. So at the moment, Razork would like to try and help Oscarinin push in this wave, although it looks like Wunder might have broken that freeze. And the idea is, okay, I can then get the reset that Oscarinin desperate needs without losing minions. But the fact that he's coming down to this bot lane with that big wave pushing out says to me that they want to try and get on towards Flakked and see if they can punish the fact that he used that ghost. But maybe not even the case, actually. He's just going to try and clear out his own bot side. Maybe after, as the wave starts to push out from underneath the tower, he'll look for it. But I think it's going to be a sizable wave on that bot side by the time he can send it.
Slowly but surely, the push coming back. Flakked and Kaiser have their support of their jungler nearby. Jankos is down bot side, but you can see Razork the same. Difference is that for now, Razork has a level lead. Not sure about Jankos' EXP bar, but we'll just track that one a little bit closer, as health does matter.
Perkz going to be able to get on out.
This time the full way.
Yeah, so the little purple bars just beside the portraits of the champions will give you the XP bar. So you can see Jankos just topping over to level 5, no worries. And that'll make things a little bit easier to track. Wunder, though, knowing that Razork is going to be on this bottom side, gets down a ward and is just making life a nuisance for Oscarinin in the top lane. You can see he still hasn't reset, so Wunder should be able to clear this out, get a reset, work up towards his Kainic Rookern off the back of this as well, and just make things easy. Razork, because you have to reset at some stages, Flakked, you can see he's just sitting on the tier, knows that in a brawl, they just have the advantage with the recurve bow already picked up, so he's going to push aggressively, or have Noah push aggressively in the box side and look for this dragon. Jankos can't really steal this. There's too many members of Fnatic around.
Jankos might get punished for it regardless, but the Vault Breaker's back in instead. And Jun doesn't pull the trigger on the hook. So first Dragon goes over to Fnatic. First Blood went over to Fnatic. It's a good early game so far from Fnatic, but it depends if this is punished. Kaiser, Dredge Line connects, Ignite immediately down onto Razork. Jun's in, bops him up, but Kaiser flashes away from the hook. In return, Team Heretics have a play here, but it all depends on the CC chain, as Jun has to dodge away from at least something, but instead he's fine. Dredge Line flashed away from. Fnatic almost punished with their lives, but they get away safely. Yeah, the Dragon still goes across. A lot of summoner spells burnt there. Well, at least Jun's summoner spells burnt there in that bottom side, but they're still going to be relatively fine. Wunder has reset and is now looking bot, though. I think they want to 4-man dive this, because Wunder knows he's got the TP advantage off of those early plays that he set up on top side. Again, the Udyr spearheading in. The Ghost immediately popped. Razork is down here, but will he get here in time? Jun pops up, trying to buy some time as Noah against the turret just gets sent every which way, but you're right. There is no finisher. He flashes away. Razork is back in action. Wunder now has a Kalista and still finds a kill. It's messy, but it's working. As Wunder as well, looking for a second, but Humanoid now comes on in. He's got the range. Kaiser doesn't get the dredge line. It is messy, messy, messy. It's like having a kid's birthday party at McDonald's. Humanoid finding the kill, melee range, and there's fries everywhere.
The ball pit has scrambled all over the floor for Fnatic, but for some reason Heretics have managed to come out on top. It was not clean. Oscarinin will get 2 plates on the top side in response. Perkz will at least get 1 to try and answer back, but my word, that was a messy dive.
My region, Dagda, I can say that now. I'm assimilating my region. Let's watch this again because it has just been what these 3 weeks of winter have been a lot of the time, let's be real.
So Flakked end up tanking the tower, which is a complete mess. Flakked end up shooting too early, so then Noah's able to flash, which means that Wunder, as he comes back here, ends up going for it. Flakked now too low to realistically get involved in this play, which means that as Jankos flash Qs and misses that, that's a mess. Flakked then flashes away from Humanoid as he starts to come in. Kaiser missing the hook as well, means that at least you get Humanoid with some damage, but Jankos, thanks to Triumph, will heal up. Flakked hits 6 off the kill, so manages to lock up Humanoid, but he still gets the kill back in the Jankos. But that should have been way simpler. As long as Flakked didn't tank the tower from the get-go, that could have been an easy set.
So, game is even, pretty much, I guess, from that last play. It's a 300 gold lead for Team Heretics, but we don't really call that much at this point. 300 is mid right now, Humanoid over Perkz. The biggest lead in the game is Flakked. As you can see, Serrated Dirk picked up now as well over Noah. He's probably feeling the best in this game, but we might have to wait and see who's feeling the best because there's no summoners available, Dag. There's a lot of lanes to punish right now. A lot of blinking summoners, I should say, as well, that are waiting for the cooldowns to come off.
And there's a level 6 Jarvan on the bot side.
So
Noah's
better
not
get it started, hey. Jun with a hook under turret. I mean, Varus has to be careful not to step too far up. At least the damage goes down, and Jun now down to half HP. Jankos is not saying die yet.
Now I'm watching Jankos as he tries to spot out Razork. Void Grubs could be started by Wunder on the top side as this is all going on. Jun missing, but over the wall, so they're fine. Still though, Heretics are getting good control over this bot side. They're getting the push, they're getting control, you're getting the CS lead. Wunder putting the threat onto Oscarinin, and again, you can see how unplayable this matchup is at this stage. It's kind of disgusting.
Dagda, in the meantime, you saw my finger go to the screen and point at Jun's first item choice. Mobility boots, he is going to move. Now, we know a lot of the time with Blitzcrank, usually it's the case, but it's always exciting to see the boots everyone forgets about. You know, we have, I almost said Mercs the wrong way.
Ionian boots are listening.
Let's pause, yeah. In the meantime, I mean, Flakked probably hopes he has them, but it wouldn't make a difference because 3 members are here. Flex on him. Noah gets a kill. A very meaningful kill, considering Flakked was ahead in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, just sticking around that bit too long to try and push out. No help there. Kaiser had already reset to try and move mid, because it looks like they want to try and get set up for, I would imagine, Void Grubs into Dragon, but they're actually moving back to this bot side to try and protect the bot lane tower after Flakked went down, but bit of a whoopsie there from Flakked, and it gives a lot of control now too. Hey, we got the kill onto to Noah in that bot side. Humanoid is farming up a Storm in the mid lane as well, thanks to that early kill.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate, but yeah, it means that Razork knows that bot lane is safe for the moment, so he's actually the one that rotates back up towards top side to pick up the Void Grubs. Kind of Brooker now for Wunder though means that this is kind of where things are going to get messy in this top side for Oscarinin. So Razork getting these Void Grubs is actually a pretty big win in the grand scheme of things.
Side note though, I mean, Dagda, we're not going to see the other 3, are we? Because it coincides with Herald spawn.
Well, it's actually just Dragon. It's Dragon that's going to be the issue here, so they want to try and get back down because they have a feeling there might be some sort of messy play coming on. Humanoid resetting has the teleport, and I think that's why the dive is called off here from Heretics. They're a bit worried about Humanoid coming in. I think he picked a package off that reset as well, so Heretics trying to burst down this Dragon before Corki gets back into this mid lane.
We'll say though, with this Dragon being looked at with Team Heretics just having it, with stats going over to Wunder, feel pretty good. Early game with the Caning Brookern, with the Mountain Dragon on top of that. Wunder is a very beefy boy. So it spawns the Cloud Rift somewhere out there. There's an LCK caster cheering as maybe for Fnatic. They'll be doing the same in a moment. Kaiser flashes over the wall. It's Humanoid with a package. I think it's a barrel of dog biscuits that's just waiting to go in somewhere. Will it be on top of Perkz?
Oh, he's getting the treat?
Yes, it will. Who's a good boy? Perkz running away though, but he doesn't want to go over the flames. Instead, pops them back, flashes. Nice to get out, but Humanoid under the turret. Well done. 2-1 now. Corki is unleashed.
Humanoid is a very happy Corgi as he wanders back with his little legs to the tower. Great stuff there, being able to Valkyrie back over the Azir wall and pick up that kill. And again, just nice timing. You could kind of see that Heretics had already been pushed away from bot side, so everyone on the Heretic side was involved in keeping that bot lane tower safe, which meant that there just wasn't numbers in mid lane, and Razork spotted us.
It's a very significant kill again because, I mean, we know this matchup, Dagda. We know it scales either way. It's what was always known about Corki Azir. And after that kill, even though Fnatic bind one mid, even though it was Humanoid, Team Heretics respawn, Perkz uses his teleport. They are going to be getting these Void Grubs and giving 2 to themselves just before the Herald spawns in 1 minute.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nothing to write home about, right? They're not going to respawn before Herald in a minute, so it's 2 to 1. Means nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's more just a nice little bit of experience for the jungler more than anything else. And Humanoid should be able to continue clearing out this and then start to move in towards his bot side.
I mean, even if you got 5 grubs, I wouldn't ride home. Can you imagine saying, dear mum, I killed 5 of these purple things in Summoner's Rift? And she go, all right, don't know what that is. I'm still learning the game, but...
Do you have to explain that grub is not food when you do write home about it?
Yeah, not food, or again, I told you, someone who eats off the ground. You know, in high school, I said people, like, if you get called a grub, you're someone who's like, you know, a little bit yuck, you know?
Lovely.
Yeah, right. So...
and they're so pretty in the game, you know? Yeah,
they're obviously very good-looking grubs.
Cute, yeah.
You know, again. I'm glad the naming discussion has stopped. I think we've, you know, gotten over that real quick.
Yeah, you just don't talk about it,
no,
so then it doesn't get brought up. It's all right, we ignore that.
We do indeed. I think we've gotten over grubs in general, though. I think, you know, a lot of teams have seen them, what they can do when they're ahead, but let's be real, I think the Herald has been the most exciting thing so far, especially yesterday. I think it was Bo who drove it after getting from mid all the way down bot. You know, like he was running in the 90s. There was such good, smooth moves. And so we can see how effective it can be. I mean, it can really just open the map.
May even get that chance here for Fnatic, to be perfectly honest. Like, mid's pretty low.
True.
After the push. But it looks like they're going to turn their attention topside immediately. Wunder is here, and he is very much alone.
Well, Jun has that static field to stop him from at least turning into a big speed demon. Herald's going to be charged at melee range, pretty much. Doesn't kill the turret, but Wunder has no chance. He's CC'd up for days. Now it's another drive. Right down top side, I mean, in a tier 2. In top is now threatened. Look at the damage they're going to have with Humanoid as well. With the only grub they picked up, it's enough to enhance it and pick up 2 turrets from Rift Herald Dagda. That's why it works.
Wunder is TP, but it's 15 seconds away. I don't think Heretics can really aggress onto this.
Okay.
Maybe with no one mid, but you can see, yeah, they immediately back away. Perkz wants to grab that wave underneath the tower, so Fnatic punishing on the map plays against Heretics, and this early game hasn't been stellar from Heretics. They attempted that one dive on bot side, and it kind of felt like a bit of a hand stiff in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely, and you know, the kill from Humanoid mid, that enhanced the game for Fnatic. The Herald play just then pushed us up to a total of 3k in Fnatic's lead past this laning phase. We didn't see much in the way of plates, but now the top side's open, we're going to look at a map state, Dagda, because for Fnatic, they've got a Kalista Blitzcrank and a Blitzcrank who's always going to be on the move. You never know where Fnatic are going to be in Fog of War.
Yeah, and I think Heretics, that's why you're seeing them grouping up in this 3-man unit, even Wunder on this bottom side to try and make that happen. But they don't even realize they're on a ward. They haven't done their due diligence.
Oh, I mean, the priority map, it's beautiful. They find the exact target that you'd want out of anyone on the team. Team Heretics running for their life, but they're not going to get out because Kaiser is next on the menu, boys. Razork with a beautiful ult. Humanoid has picked up 4 kills. Jordan forces a flash. Fnatic can do no wrong in a game that matters so much for them. They are on track.
I'm shocked that Jun was able to catch the pigeon like that. That was absolutely insane. In between 2 people, and then, I mean, Muttley for Humanoid, very happy he's able to pick up the kill. That was gorgeous. And Heretics, again, just not doing their due diligence. Didn't sweep, didn't expect there to be a ward, and now great pickup here. I will say you got the resets a little bit late here though for Fnatic when it comes towards Dragon, but realistically I think they'll be fine to start moving back in to try and take this objective. They just need to get, as you can see, bot pushed out. Humanoid will probably have to TP back out onto the map, more than likely towards mid lane, because I think that's your best bet. Oh wait, Razork went over the wall.
Yeah, he did, and that's a Q. Flash to get out or wait for the Q. It's now up and again, so Vault Breaker should be an exit path, but he's just waiting instead. Fnatic are stronger. There's a 2k gold lead mid with Malignance now on the Corki. He's got a package as well. You can see in base, he's just picked it up. Teleport early as well as Jankos is in early with the Cataclysm down, but he's just dying out. Humanoid now in the back line. There it is, light it up. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno for Fnatic. Flakked sent packing, and Wunder left with his head in his hands. Fnatic have got this game in the bag.
X marks the spot as to where Heretics used to be, as Fnatic are setting a mark on this game. That was an incredible play, destroying Heretics, making sure no one could approach anything. I mean, Jankos going in very aggressive early. The TP coming through from Wunder, a little bit late to the party because Jankos is already dead, and Humanoid is just zoning Flakked and Perkz off. They know they can't really go forward, and then you just get hit, rumble, ult, and having that package as well. Flakked is completely out of the fight, and Fnatic are just chasing down members of Heretics to add to their goal pockets.
How good would a sauna with Brand be in it as well, right? You'd have so much fire and Summoner's Rift, you'd burn it down. It feels so nice to watch Humanoid on this pick, which is now at 9k. Where's Perkz? He's down. Dagda ready to do some math. 5,500, am I correct? Yes. I have to confirm
I'm
it
going to
myself.
leave you to that.
I can count. 5,500, it's big. It's such a big gold gap. Even though on the screen it says 3k. I could be wrong. Either way, it's big. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do it yourself. It's Humanoid, level 13 versus Perkz. He's down a level, but about 11.5 it feels. It's really rough. I mean, we've got this respect to Perkz on a matchup, Dagda, that we've seen time and time again. But Humanoid started running ahead with that kill in mid. And with Fnatic pretty much winning bot side later on as well. It's just been a bit of an oops-a-daisy for Team Heretics in their last game of Winter.
Yeah, I mean, a bit unfortunate as well, because it kind of felt like this was your moment, as you say, to show people what you're worth. We got to see from the get-go, very first day into week 1 of Winter, not the best of starts for Heretics, but they started to claw back some of the infamy that they had of being like top dogs from past years. But now Fnatic kind of showing them the ropes here.
The teleport though could be dangerous. Hook doesn't land as around red buff. The fight begins, but again, look at Humanoid from range. You can see Perkz is holding topside, won't do a damn thing. Oscarinin just burns him down. He really did light the beacons, but no one came.
I mean, the jungle doesn't belong for them. Fnatic, happy to go in. They take the fight. That's perfect for someone like Oscarinin with that ultimate. They burn down everyone, and now it's just a case of where do you want to try and attack. You got push in top, although I will say with Varus there, you're not going to be able to do too much. But yeah, with the waves, not in the best of spots. They won't be able to get much in the way of towers, but still, they'll get control, get vision, steal away some of the camps. And you just go for a take 2 here with Baron up and available. 20 minutes on the clock, and it's not like Heretics, although Perkz can do it quick, can never really contest you. But we get a quick shot here, like hook into the wall for Kaiser. Jankos deleted immediately, and Oscarinin is just burning down Perkz on the top side. Nothing that the Azir can do. I mean, Flakked, how's he supposed to get into these fights? They're just not capable of it at all.
I mean, I think at this point, Dagda, is it a bridge too far? Is it too far gone? It's a 10k gold lead. You're versing a Corki, a Rumble versus a team that, again, might want to play at range. You know, Flakked, for example, as Lethality Varus. Oh, look. The real G2 coming up next.
A little bit more successful this season as well. But Fnatic trying to see if they can make sure that they can push themselves a little bit further along. Again, if Fnatic win this, they want Vitality to win the next game as well, so that then they can get their top 4 spots. So Fnatic definitely doing the work here. Heretics, unfortunately, even if they win, will not be able to push themselves into that top 4, thanks to the strength of victory that SK have. And the head-to-heads. Good hook, though.
Finish out. Frenchline buffers it, though. Looks janky on our spectator client, but Kaiser gets out. That's the main thing. Is in a turret mid at 21 minutes getting threatened down. This feels like a much later game than it is because of how far Fnatic are ahead, but 14-3 at 21. It's just pure dominance here, and it's really good to see from what we'd expect to be a top team, right? What people would expect to be a top 2, top 3 team. Yes, they're waiting for Vitality to get top 4, but right now they need to showcase, as you said, with the Equalizer down, they're doing exactly that. Oscarinin's damage is dirty with the Crit Bloom as well. This 2-item Rumble means business.
Still, though, Noah getting hooked there meant that kind of shuts down Fnatic. They would have liked to keep that ball rolling, catch that wave on bot side, but because you end up with Noah having to burn Flash and the ultimate and calling for aid from Fnatic, they don't really get as much as they would have liked out of that place. So buying time here for Heretics. Now, they still need a lot of time to be relevant, but at least you're getting some opportunities to try and get items for yourself.
Just being optimistic about what Team Heretics can do from such a deficit. Fnatic know there's no vision here. Lens used well. Team Heretics right now prioritizing top side of the map because Baron is up. They know that this dragon is just kaput. They'll wait and see if the game goes long enough to pick up that soul. And instead, maybe it'll be the Baron flip. There's been plenty so far. Dagda.
I was going to say, you're kind of hoping for something. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, would you like to be optimistic about Team Heretics? Would you like to give me anything to put up their hopes in this game? You can say
you're
no.
just so far away. Banshee's Veil is the attempt from Perkz here, but even if you get that right, the Eclipse Malignance is going to make sure that you're getting that magic resist reduction. It ends up super nice. You've still got to deal with a lot of damage coming through Kalista. The Terminus is going to make it very hard with the Jack Show inevitability for Noah to really beat him down. So I think at this stage, you've kind of run your course, and I think Heretics had moments to get control of this game. Like, you look at that bot lane dive that went so astray. Wunder had good control and tried to use it elsewhere in the map, but unfortunately it was just Fnatic cleaner when it came to a lot of these plays and came back to bite Heretics, especially around that like mid lane into bot side plays.
Package running out, by the way, if you're wondering why Humanoid used that. It's set up now for Baron because that's what the reset's about. You look at the soul in 4 minutes, again, if the game is still going. Scuttle makes it that much easier as well to move around this all-seeing Baron. Again, looks a little bit like a Halo rifle. You know, the carbine rifle in Halo 2.
I think Aphelios is Calibro.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Keep it game-related. That's right. That's very good. Keep me in a job. What's... Oh, sorry. Halo? What's that? It's the new champion ability. Just wait and see what happens around Baron, though, because Jordan is going to be a key factor. We've seen all game long. These hooks have been pretty deadly on the 9 out of 14 kill participation hook. Champion, and I have to say, Blitzcrank in the LEC, I think have been some of the best performing champions. Unless there's a game I'm not remembering well enough. Jun, Labrov, I think some of the best performing supports on some of these pick champions.
Yeah, Blitzcrank in particular has been really big for Jun, as you say, Labrov as well. I think it gives you a lot of opportunities to play around these new walls, because in a lot of situations, it's very difficult to approach objectives now, or even if you are already at the objective pit, there's so many walls and different angles that Blitzcrank can work from. You can even see here, like, it makes it very difficult for you to actually threaten a lot of these plays, and especially since, apart from Wunder, no one is actually particularly tanky on Heretics. Like, yes, you've got Kaiser, but a one item Locket of the Iron Solari Nautilus, that's what, 6 levels down on your AD carry is not going to survive. And same with Jankos, he's under sky.
Thanks Kaiser. Again, there you go.
Thanks for the demonstration.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, lads.
That supports your point, doesn't it? Jun gets a quick pick, support down, 4 versus 5. Baron was theirs anyway. Further to your point, Dagda, you know what's huge? As Wunder decides to push bottom side turret. I can explain in a second, because at least in a turret going down means a goal bounty for Team Heretics. But again, it's so far gotten. You know, it's also big when there's less ability haste in the game, and that means escape tools are more valuable, right? This is the most brain statement I've ever made, so bear with me.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm ready.
Never gone this far. Because there's less ability haste in the game, that means things like hooks are more valuable, because you have, if you use an escape, with there being less ability haste, that is a more valuable tool naturally. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But also the hook is now more valuable because it's like you've less hooks, right?
True. So but landing it means that point is really smart.
I will say it's just, there's a lot of damage in the game and people tend to be squishy. Not going to land that hook, but I think it's just there's so much burst as well when you look at like how much damage Corki can do.
Yeah.
Rumble as well, dealing a ton of damage. So I think there's just a lot of opportunities to pick people off on moments like that.
Found him. I think that was blind as well. I mean, there's no ward over. Another one for Noah. Humanoid just dodges. Perkz getting outclassed. It is Humanoid time. 7, 1, and 5 is a 3-item Corki just running forward. It's Marek time, baby. That's been all game.
They're just looking for the tower now, yeah. Humanoid again. This guy has been absolutely insane. Coming into this weekend, more than 33% of the team's damage. Highest DPM for any mid laner in the league. The guy has been a beast. And it's very nice to see him performing on all accounts. Because there's always well, Humanoid only comes alive in playoffs. Well, he's alive and kicking in this game and wants to turn it here.
As another hook lands as well. Equalizers down. The range is there. Oscarinin burning and turning with Baron buff. It's so easy. Fnatic slowly whittling away Team Heretics. They've got 3 kills to their name in this 27-minute game. It has not been close. It has never been close. It has been a runaway. It has been a performance from Fnatic that cannot be understated. Jun locked in a pit, but matters not. As Fnatic running into the base, even if they get fully wiped here, it's going to take 3 more. Okay, you got Razork, you got Jun. Great stuff. Need a little bit more. Humanoid is the army.
I mean, they held. They've held for a little bit.
Okay.
At least they got something back, but yeah, I think this was a little bit too far forward from Fnatic. Razork misses on the Q with Jankos getting the lockdown onto Jun, and there is still damage on Fnatic. And as well, look at Noah, like already taking out a ton of damage as well, so he's not able to really get into the fight either, so it comes a bit messy, you know?
But Dagda, it's like Hodor, you know? He did a good job at delaying the inevitable, but eventually...
They will get through this.
Eventually they came through, and a bigger issue was at hand. Now you've got the wall, which is playoffs, but then Team Heretics have to perform there, right? Anyone who hasn't watched Game of Thrones is now very confused as to what's going on, but to be fair, that's life. An objective bounty picked up. Maybe doing a little bit better than Hodor right now, but the problem is Humanoid, as he gets hooked on in, does damage, but they found him, they collapse on him. A shutdown, it goes to Wunder, but still, the Corki's down. Team Heretics. Ooh.
I still don't know if it's enough, though. This is the thing, right? Like, yes, you got the pick, but all it does is let you bounce these waves out for a little bit. It might give you the opportunity to get in a better position for something like Baron in 2.5 minutes, but I still think, you know, 30 seconds until Humanoid comes back out. They still have a ton of push. The fact that the shutdown went to Wunder, it would have been amazing if that went to Perkz, and then he could get like nearly a 3rd item completed, and then you're like, okay, maybe you have an opportunity with like a Rabadon's completion or something to try and fight back, but I just don't know if they've got enough in the tank, unless Fnatic mess up, and they're not really doing that right now. They're just going to look for that poke. Jun, though.
Guys with the dredge line, hang on a minute. I mean, Fnatic, what is going on? Fate's core used to get out. Humanoid's now back up. He's got teleport.
I don't know if you can go for much here, though, because like Fnatic, you're like, okay, you just use the Fate's Call, Humanoid's in base, so again, it's more about, hey, let's just push the waves in, keep Heretics back in their own base, and then look for Baron in just a 2 minutes time.
I hope this is not a trend for Fnatic. I hope this is a game to be closed out nicely, cleanly. That's all I want, Dagda. That's all I want. I mean, it's just been such a dominant game, but 3 kills now. They doubled their kill score. Jun with the hook in onto Jankos. Maybe we stop there. He gets bodied and destroyed in an instant. Humanoid from the back line is firing away once again. The equalizer, gorgeous, as Kaiser has to run for his life, but he's burnt as well. Everybody likes setting the flames up as Wunder does find Razork, who goes a little bit too far forward. But it's 3 versus 4. Fnatic have the kill score. They've got the gold line. Dagda, they've got everything. They can push him once again. Yeah,
they'll get the double in hit. I don't think they can push for too much more, but it's honestly perfect timing. It means that you get your wave starting to push out as you look towards the Rift Guard. Oscarinin just needs to back it on up. Heretics just trying to delay the resets, so then they have as much time as possible for Jankos and Kaiser to get back out of the map. That's why Wunder's just chasing down, but they could honestly turn on Wunder, so he needs to be a little bit careful.
True.
But yeah, it means that, look, you'll have the waves now coming in, super creeps in bot, super creeps in mid, and they'll be hitting right as Baron spawns now on towards those Nexus turrets. So for Heretics, you have to try and deal with these waves now. And again, good hook from Jun to start things off. They kill off Jankos, he's not tanky enough, and then from that point forward, it's like just no backline access. Humanoid's pushing forward. You've got Razork, who's gone deep into the backline as well with Jun. This is just easy pickings for the Fnatic backline. They continuously have the DPS that they're able to turn out with no threat there.
At least it works out in their favor, but it's not clean. At least these past 5 minutes haven't been a clean ending. Flakked is doing work. 21k damage. I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised. And I think, as you said, you know, Baron is spawning. This should still be Fnatic luring Team Heretics into this area. But it's about doing your due diligence. If you walk ahead solo, if you get picked off by Team Heretics, and that gold lead means less and less. Walking forward, Team Heretics grouping up as 5 for now. Oscarinin by himself, but Team Heretics don't pull the trigger yet. They spot him. Jun looking for a hook as well, but there's a couple of barriers here as well as Razork over the wall. The hook finds Udyr, but he runs for his life, but there's still a lot of damage. Equalizer zones him out. Wunder's dead. The package as well. Marek Presta! Jankos running for his life. When you see fire start to burn and it starts to spread, Fnatic will have their time in the sun.
Beautiful stuff from Fnatic. The combo to pick off Wunder as he went too far forward, and with that Fnatic, they keep their hopes of top 4 alive.
Well, it's a beautiful end. It got a little bit sloppy around that ending, but it's still the win you wanted to see. As Fnatic dominated the early game, Dagda. I mean, it was their game by rights.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Heretics, a couple of whoopsies here and there, a couple of missed abilities, and Fnatic responding incredibly well. The fact that you got those early kills onto Humanoid, the Corki popping off, the damage with that Malignance Eclipse Muramana build is absolutely absurd at the moment, and that's why when you look at your player of the game, vote now at LEC on X, it is Razork, Humanoid, or Jun, because honestly, the three of them all had a fantastic performance.
I think Jun or Humanoid for me. I always like to throw my bias in Dagda. Jun on Blitzcrank, some really pivotal plays, some really great hooks as well. And again, Blitzcrank in the LEC, I think a real divine light so far. Fnatic should be proud with how they ended their split. Yes, there were a couple of games where they started setting up a trend of not being able to close it out when they should, not being able to clean things up. But still with a chance of top 4, that's huge. As after that set break, that's coming up in a moment, we will be talking to Oscarinin in just 1 sec.
Red Bull gives you wings.